Oh, well, this is your Uncle Wesley. And your mother's over here want me to relate some of my activities when I was in India in 1942. And these after suffering with arthritis and strokes and knee operations, it's kind of hard to get back to those days when I was wandering through the Assam and the jungle in India and China and Burma during the war. But I'm here because of the good Lord watching over me, keeping me. Because he said he'd never forsake me or leave me. So I have been blessed because I know what he had done for me. And nights when I'm looking at the channels and seeing what the jungle really looks like, I wonder sometimes how I'm here, because I've been blessed. Because when I left to go to India in 1942, Mom told me not to worry because I'd be coming back home. And I think about my journey when I'm laying in the bed at night and think about flying over the hump Himalayas and going into China and in the jungle carting bombs and ammunition up to the front lines over the Burma Road and running over pythons and being careful about stepping on the kites, which were more deadly than a cobra. But I'm here, beginning of another century, and I know that I'm blessed. And my knee replacements, which I had done to be able to walk, because in 1975 the doctors told me that I would never walk again. And I tell them that one night when I was laying in my bed, couldn't move anything because I was in braces. I couldn't even let the sheets touch my body because it was so painful. And the room turned completely white, and I was elevated up in my bed and couldn't move anything. But Habakkuk 3:19 appeared like a handwriting on the wall, saying, and I read it, Habakkuk 3:19, and I woke up that morning and I asked the nurse to look in my Bible and see what the Habakkuk 19 was, and she said she opened my Bible because I couldn't turn the pages because I couldn't use my hands, and the Lord thy God is your strength. He will make your feet like hind feet to walk in high places. And I said, I thought about it, and 6 o'clock this was a Saturday night at about 12 o'clock. 6 o'clock Sunday morning, the nurse came in to give me my medication, and I told the nurse to open my Bible and read Habakkuk 3:19. The Lord thy God is your strength. He'll make your feet like hind feet to walk in high places. And she says in parentheses, it says you're going to have strong feet of deer climb the mountain. And at that time, I couldn't even use my feet. So when the doctors came in at 6 o'clock that Sunday morning and asked me did I want to go to chapel, and I said yes, I'll go to chapel today, which was Sunday. And he said she'll get the Boy Scouts to come and take me down to chapel. And when I got to chapel, the minister said that he was going to do the sermons today at Norfolk for the veterans. And on the way to Norfolk, he said, I couldn't think what to talk about. And he said, I wanted to bring something to the servicemen that would be a blessing to them and give them more spirit. So he said, I picked up I thought I'll talk about 6th chapter of John. Jesus went down to Bethesda by the pool, and there were a man that had been there 38 long years. And Jesus saw him there and asked the man that excuse me, he wanted to be made whole. And the man told him that every time the angels came down to trouble the waters, he didn't have anybody to put him into the pool, so therefore he had to remain another season till the waters were troubled again. And Jesus just told him, do you want to be made whole? Pick up your bed and walk. And the man immediately picked up his bed and went running and joyfully to the temple to thank him for the blessing of putting him back on his feet. So while I'm sitting there waiting for the doctor and the nurses, I began to move my joints around. And in fact, I did a couple wheelies with the wheelchair, and I began to move my feet, and then I started to use my hands, and they weren't aching. Before I went down, I didn't have any space between my fingers. They were so swollen and aching. But I began to move my hands and my feet, and there were no pain. So when I came back to my room, I went to the bathroom. And while I was thinking about going to the bathroom, all I said, I know I could use the bathroom, because when I was coming back, I rolled the wheelchair to my room myself. The hands that I couldn't use before, I went to and 'cause from that day on, it was near Christmas, and I asked the doctor, did they think I could go home for Christmas? And he said, well, we'll see. And every day they came in and tested me walking up and down the corridors and see how fast I was doing. They were measuring my fingers and see if they had swollen. And all the pain began to leave. And the doctors told me I could go home for Christmas. But after Christmas, he said, we'll set up a schedule to see when I could get my joints, my fingers replaced, and get the nodules, because I had a nodule on my elbows as big as an orange, and all that had gone, disappeared. So he told me that I could go home for Christmas. That was in 1997, I think, and I went home for Christmas, 97, and I didn't go back to the hospital till in 85. And right now I'm free from pain. I can sleep at night, but I still have the stiffness in the legs. I can't do any more 100-yard dashes, but I can sleep at night without pain. And this is what I've been blessed with. And at 87, the nurses looked at me the last time I was in a hospital, and they said, they were telling the other nurses, would you believe this man is 87? And they said, no, I never seen someone look like him in the 87. They said he still got this baby skin. But I said, how do you keep looking so young? So I went to my examination last month, and they got my service card, and they looked at the date, and they said, well, not too many of us old birds are left. But he said, what do you do? I said, I trust in the Lord, and I tell him to take care of me, and I said, I got good family I don't have to worry about. I said, I got a good wife that takes care of me, and without the Lord by my side, I wouldn't know. I know I couldn't make it by myself. And I've been blessed with a good family and friends, and because the Lord says He'll never forsake you or leave you, and when you need Him, He's right there. He don't come when you want to, but He's always on time, and I continue to trust Him every day, every night, and every morning. I thank Him for just another day, and He's been my all in all. The diamond, so I had my logs to build a baseball field. So we went out with the measurements, and I showed them where we picked out a nice smooth area where we could make a field, and they had this high grass, so they had to chop knives, to cut the grass. I told them we didn't have no lawnmowers then, things like that. So they were out there. They were getting the field ready, and we was going through this high grass, and I stepped and I felt something soft. When I looked down, all I saw was squirrels, and before I looked like I went up in the air and I stayed up there maybe 5 minutes, but was just, went up there and came right back down. When I came down, he hit me, thank God, in the leggings, because in India there was snakes, so we wore leggings, you know.
Okay.
So when he hit this, it wasn't enough to pierce the leggings. So when I came back down, one of my workers had done chopped him in little pieces.
Whoa.
She made mincemeat of him. So I said, normally I wouldn't have a chance, but I said the Lord took care of me that, because he said you step on serpents and it won't harm you. So I said this is one time that I stepped on a serpent, but it didn't harm me. Okay. So I said, no, don't you go and shake your feet in front of a cobra and think the Lord's going to protect you from poison. But this occasion was another blessing, you know. So yeah. So in school, I was telling about going tiger hunting, you know, and the kids lay on the floor, you know, and they just won't say a word, but after I get through reading, and you can ask, and they telling each one what I had said, you know. So I said, I told him we went tiger hunting one time, and this tiger had been wiped out about maybe 100 natives, you know, along the river front when they went out to wash their clothes. And I told them that we had to form a hunting party, cut it out there, wait till you go outside and you wipe yourself and scratch it. And I told them that we had to go hunt them down. So we sent out beaters and natives with the pots of pans, and where the last tiger was spotted, they sent them up above there. And also we have about 6 elephants, and we ride the elephants back with our carbines in Springfield. And when the beaters beat the tiger back toward us, we make a V with the elephants, you know. And when they run the elephants right back to the V shape, and then we sit on the elephants and mow them down, you know.
Wow.
So this time, this tiger, the beaters brought him back toward us, you know, and we could see the grass parting as he was coming toward us, you know.
Yeah.
And everybody, boom, 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 boom. He put a hole in his snout, and you could put your head in the hole that this tiger made in the elephant.
Whoa.
And we had to shoot the elephant because he was wounded. So we put a chain on him and dragged him back to camp. And then somebody asked, we had to flip for the skin because everybody wanted the tiger skin to ship home, you know.
Mm.
So we had to flip for that, and the one that had the longest straw got the skin. So one night, this guy, before we shipped the skin home, we were all in the day room, so he went in and took it out of the box before he shipped it home and put it on and came at the day room window and looked in the day room window, and the guys saw the tiger looking. And we made all kind of doors, getting back to the barracks to get the guns, you know.
Wow.
And the lieutenant told him he just was blessed that the guys didn't have the guns in the day room because somebody would have shot him.
Would have shot him, yeah.
Told him he'd never done. Never put that tiger skin on again. And the next time it would be in a box going home. But this guy put the skin on and looked through that day room window, and they had doors that wasn't even painted before, heading for the barracks to get their guns in there. But we had a guy that when we first got over there, we were in six man tents, little tents. And one night, one of the taggers wandered into one of those 6-man tents. And the guy woke up, and all he saw was Tagger looking in his eyes, you know, just a mosquito net on. And he looked, and when he saw the Tagger, he just screamed in horror. 6 men and a Tagger trying to get out of this little tent. The tent come down on them, and you could hear the scream and the oh. and the Tagger had hit one of the guys right in the chest, just ripped him.
Whoa.
And he took him to the dispensary. He was holding intestines. And he...
Now, Wesley, you gotta go now. Don't hold me.
It's all right.
Yeah, he was leaving when I got
It's all right, the stories. Yeah.
He made it. In fact, he made it home. And because he wrote to us after he got home and recovered that they had sold him up, you know, and he was coming along fine. But these guys we got some weird stories. Because we used to land on bunks, and we could see the snakes in the ceilings of the bashers, you know, looking down at us, you know. And in the morning, sometimes they'd wake up, they had dropped down into the mosquito netting right over our heads, you know. Hey, there's a snake on top of my net.
Whoa.
Yeah, I tell you, and I when I lay down there, that I thank God for my journey. I said, He brought me some mighty long ways and protected me through the monsoon seasons, the rain every day for 6 months in a row.
Wow.
Every time we walk out, the water's up to our knees.
Wow.
And but the best part of it, we had these big old GI soaps, and it pours about 15 or 30 minutes, just buckets, and we get that, and boy, we get the soap out there, and we get nice clean.
Right, big shower.
and wash our clothes and just throw them on the branch. In about 5 minutes, the sun just dry them right off.
Wow, that quick.
Yes, sir. And he said, you didn't have to go dirty in there, because that smell, because all that dead bodies, you know, and the buzzes were carrying away, and they just, and every morning we dispatch about 6 by 6, just going down the village, and they pick up the dead bodies that die overnight from starvation.
Wow.
And put them in this big hole and put 55 these gas cans and load of gas and burn them, you know.
Yeah.
So the buzzers won't reach and the dogs won't get to them, you know. But the stink, when we first got over there, we had to put gas masks on. You couldn't stand that stink.
Wow.
So hot, the temperature never went below 80 and 90. Wow. Played baseball, 110 degrees, 4th of July, 1942.
Whoa.
Joey Brown, I don't know if you heard about him. He was a comedian from the state. He came over to umpire, and it was 110 degrees on July 4th over there. We got our Christmas gift. We had the Christmas wrappings all over the area. Got our Christmas gifts from the States in July.
That was your Aunt Catherine.
I thought so.
I had a laugh inside you.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got our Christmas gift in July. Yes, yeah, we used to get letters, half burnt.
Oh,
We just
boy.
get the burnt part of it.
Yeah?
Those ships that were torpedoed coming over to
Wow.
India, and I sent gift package from India, you know, with the things that the jewels and they forgot but my wife never got those packages, and of course I had guys in the company that worked in the post office in the city. And he used to tell us that his sister worked in the post office, and he said those packages coming from overseas never got to their parents in the States. 'Cause they opened them up and took all that stuff out before their parents got them, you know. Because I sent, it was a couple boxes, so, and she never got them.
Wow.
And because they used to make everything by hand. You can give them a $50, and they'll carve it out just the way you want it. They were good smiths, you know. And sometimes I think, because I bought a lot of the rings and the bracelets that they made for me over there. Good smiths, you know. They could make anything. And all my clothes, their mother used to wash and make for me. And everybody had to have a uniform, and only time we could dress with the Army stuff, we did it on Sunday, you know. But the rest of the time, the Indians made our outfits, you know. They made them just like they wear them and all that stuff. And I had a little bear that he followed me all through India, and he was about 10 years old. Kept my clothes clean. He kept every time I went into the fascia, he had these big old bamboo fans in the ceiling. He would sit there and
Wesley Brown.
And work the fan.
it was hot breeze, but it felt good, you know.
Yeah.
He just kept my fan. You know? But I was blessed when I was in Sri Lanka. They took care of me. I treated the Indians. I never, even though they were the Wars, you know, some of the boys used to kick them and they worked in KP, you know, but I always treated them because I said, one day I'm going to be lost out there in the jungle, and I need them to
Show you the way back.
bring me back in. So I did all right because I'm back home. Yeah.